Senator Britt.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Want to just start by saying, Secretary Duffy, we appreciate the way that you handled January 29th and the tragedy and all that has unfolded afterwards, and just want to welcome the Lilly family here and express our deepest condolences for the loss of your son, Sam. Watching you over the last few months, your grit, your tenacity, you're willing to speak up to make change in the face of the unimaginable. As a mom who is sitting here with my daughter, watching right over there, thank you for fighting for your son's legacy and making sure that, as you said, and I've heard you say that it's synonymous with air safety, with upgrading our system and making sure that others are better as a result of this. Thank you.
Hey everyone, welcome back to True Voice, where we cut through the noise and speak truth with heart and clarity. I'm Andrew, and if you're passionate about building a fairer, smarter, and more united America, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you don't miss a thing. Today, we're reacting to a clip where Alabama Senator Britt presses his Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy about infrastructure funding. And I've got thoughts, because when politicians start talking about big, beautiful roads and channeling Trump's talking points, we got to look deeper. Let's watch.
I'd like to start by highlighting a few projects in the great state of Alabama, and want to thank you for talking with me before your confirmation, allowing me to talk to you about the importance of so many things, but in particular, one of my very top priorities is Alabama's I-10 Mobile Bay River Bridge project. It's a significant investment, and it is critical to helping the state bring this to fruition, to be able to partner, obviously, with the federal government. As you know, the Mobile River Bridge is a critical piece of transportation infrastructure, not just for the state of Alabama, not just for the region, but literally the entire nation. I mean, it connects from California to Florida. You can't get there without coming right across this bridge. And so whether it is moving people or moving commerce, it is a primary transportation artery that we must take a look at, and we've got to upgrade. So obviously we've made a lot of progress in this area. But the one thing that we are waiting on is the TIFIA loan for the project. And I want to stress how absolutely important that is to completing this project. And would love to ask you for your commitment to, expeditiously taking a look and reviewing ALDOT's application so that we can get this moving, because the longer that this goes on, the more it costs, and then obviously the more challenges that we have from both a safety and a commerce perspective.
Time is money. So and by the way, that's a great program. I'll look and see what the status is, what the status is, and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible.
And when you'll commit to taking a look at it and looking
Yes.
at the overarching impact and the need for it in order to carry this to fruition.
100%. I'd say these are the kind of projects that also the president cares about. The
Yes.
big, beautiful roads and bridges that connect
Absolutely.
our country and move products, the important infrastructure.
Absolutely. And on that too, I mean, it is a vital financing tool, so we're going to have it. You're going to be meeting with ALDOT later this year, and so I'd love to follow up with you additionally after this on that as well. I also want to mention the CRISI grant, which I understand is now in its final review. The grant will provide the essential infrastructure improvements. It's going to allow the freight rail to continue to meet the growing demands of the Mobile port. So the Mobile port has been the fastest growing port the last 6 years in a row. I think this is an excellent opportunity to see how, when we utilize all forms of transportation, land and rail and sea and air, we've got an airport project that we're doing there that is going to be transformative. I know you have a lot of things on your plate, but as you are moving across the country, I think this is an excellent example of how transportation can come together for the greater good, not just for the region, but the nation. And I'd love an opportunity to visit that with you.
I would welcome that.
Excellent. And on when we're talking about big, beautiful transportation projects that you mentioned, President Trump has made it a priority. He has said publicly that he wants to see I-65 widened. He wants to see it to be a 4-lane road there on each side. He said he was committed to making that happen. Look, we know how important that is for our state. Anyone who wants to travel in Alabama gets stuck on I-65. However, all of these great people who during the spring and summer want to come to Alabama's beautiful white sand Gulf Coast, or maybe even the Florida Panhandle, come right down 65. And so would just like your commitment to continuing to take a look at that. There's no way that project happens without a partnership with the federal government, and want your commitment to making sure that we take a look at what President Trump has promised and we figure out how to make that happen.
I would just say the president's priorities are also my priorities. So yes, I'll definitely take a look at that.
Excellent, excellent. We are glad to hear it. I want to associate myself with the comments from almost all of the members here when it comes to rural transportation services. The essential air services is critical for a state like Alabama. We have 55 out of 67 our counties are rural in nature. Making sure that they're connected and vibrant and have the ability to move across places is important. I mean, Alabama is home to many small airports, and they truly play a vital role in those areas being able to continue to grow and thrive. And so in the broader context of FAA modernization, how are you going to ensure that these rural areas are included in the efforts that you have, and how do they continue to have access to both safe and reliable air transportation?
So just, I also had a district that was very rural in northern Wisconsin. I understand rural America. We're a little colder than you are in Alabama.
Just a little
up
bit.
North.
But we're going to have a good football game, by the way, coming this fall.
Yes, we will. Listen, I want to work through that. I completely understand everyone's questions on essential air service. I knew you were all going to ask me questions about essential air service, and I get it. If you give me some space to work through what I think we can do, I will partner with all of you, and we're going to figure out a pathway forward.
Well, thank you for your service. My time is up, but I also want to say thank you for putting family first. Your example with your family, obviously having my daughter here, though, just shows that that's the most important thing as we serve this nation and try to leave it better for the next generation. So thank you.
Thank you for your example, Senator.
All right, let me start by saying I respect any public servant who shows empathy. And yes, Britt's tribute to the Lilly family was heartfelt. We should be holding leaders accountable on issues like air safety. No argument there. But here's where it gets interesting. Britt's pushing hard for the I-10 Mobile Bay Bridge project, and yes, it's a massive piece of national infrastructure. I support federal investment in smart infrastructure. What concerns me is the framework. There's always a push from the right for public funding of big-ticket projects without acknowledging the need for broader reforms like climate resiliency, public transit expansion, or wage protections for the workers building those bridges. Here we go, the Trump card. When she says, President Trump wants 4 lanes on I-65, I can't help but wonder, is this infrastructure or a campaign rally? We got to stop pretending that paving highways is the full answer to modern transit. Where's the talk about rail, electric buses, or sustainable freight solutions? Now this part one actually respect. Britt's focus on rural air service is important. As a left-leaning patriot, I care deeply about rural America being connected and thriving. But we need to expand that vision. Let's talk about subsidizing clean energy airports, broadband access, and community-based transport networks, not just continuing outdated subsidy models. Look, I don't question Senator Britt's sincerity as a mother and public servant. But let's remember, family values aren't just about symbolism. They're about making sure every family has health care, living wages, safe infrastructure, and schools that prepare kids for the future. So, here's the bottom line. Infrastructure is a national issue, and it deserves national vision. I want to see investment that lifts everyone, not just pet projects wrapped in political nostalgia. Let's build for tomorrow, not just pave over yesterday. If you agree, smash that subscribe button, drop your thoughts in the comments, and join the True Voice community. Until next time, stay bold, stay informed, and stay true.